What's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Audi Wesley Chapel, and guess what? We have something all new that you probably haven't seen yet. This is a 2020 Audi E-Tron, but this is not your standard E-Tron. This is an E-Tron Sportback, all new for this model year. But before we dive into this, let's talk about what's going on. So this Sportback is right on the heels. It's following in the footsteps of the standard E-Tron. That was big news from Audi because that was their first ever electric vehicle. This Sportback, Audi's calling it an SUV coupe, brings some extra sporty style, and they're promising that you're not gonna lose a lot of interior space. Now, what's fascinating is if you like Audi's all-wheel drive system, you do get that with the E-Tron and the E-Tron Sportback with 2 electric motors. Plus, you're gonna get that great driving dynamic that was honed really from all their wins at the 24 Hours Le Mans, 12 Hours of Sebring, and of course so many sports car endurance championships. So let's go ahead. I want to dive into this Sportback, all new EV from Audi, and see really is it a competitor for Tesla and their Model Y, and of course the larger Model X. Let's go ahead and check it out. Right off the bat, styling. When you look at it, you know it's an Audi product. I like up front what they did with the headlights. So you're gonna get your full LED headlight, daytime running lamp, and turn signal. Blacked out on the interior makes it look really sharp, and I'm even digging what they did on the side here. Now, as we drop down, what I like, no fake vents in the corner. This is actually a functional side air curtain, little bit of gloss black. I like the extension down below, but you can see how smooth everything is. This thing has a drag coefficient of 0.25. That's unbelievable in such a large vehicle. Now, as we come across the grille, technically there's not a big, huge reason to have the grille here, but it's to help be a brand identifier. And I think it really just helps you kind of stay in tune of what you think a vehicle is when you see that grille. So we do have some functionality. The rest of it is blocked off, obviously to help cheat the wind. I like the way they stamped E-Tron right at the bottom here. You got the auto union rings, those 4 rings that shows that whole union during the World Depression. They all came together so that they could continue, and we have Audi to this day. Forward-facing camera, flat metallic silver across the lip. This is all functional, but from one side to the other, definitely wide, definitely Audi-esque. When we get up onto the hood, I like the way the hood meets the front fascia. Really clean lines. You know, Audi does some very purposeful clean lines. So you're gonna have your 2 lines that go right into the A-pillar, and then a nice rise up the center. As we come around the bend, what are we working with? I hope you like big, because you're getting big here. 20-inch wheels, machined aluminum, that gunmetal gray. Obviously the shape has been dictated to help generate and correct the airflow. Still looks good, looks very futuristic. I like the amount of gap that we have from the top of the tire inside the fender, and I'm glad everything is painted this beautiful pearlescent white. Now, as we come down the side, you'll see we have our charging port. It has the E-Tron name. Push the button, check it out. Drops down, plug it in. There's one on each side. So smart to have that, because how many times have you seen people, or maybe yourself, you've been struggling, you're at a public place, you're trying to plug in, and you got to move your car 10 different ways. It's all nicely clean. Now, along the bottom, you're going to get a beautiful sill, and the way that they took the gloss black, they just sprinkled it just a little bit on the sides, on the front and the back to make a nice cohesive look, but really great lines, and you can see how that aerodynamic flow is going to come up. That Sportback roof line, like I said, SUV coupe, that's what Audi's calling this. Really kind of sleeks all the way back. Nice large quarter window and a beautiful triangular shape. The way they flare out the trim, this brushed aluminum trim looks really clean. And even the rear fenders, the way they take the body lines right into the tail light section. Now, of course, you're gonna get full LED tail lights all out back. You have your auto union badge. Nice little bit of a kick-up extension. You can see how the airflow is just gonna slide right down like you're at a slide at Adventure Island. Woo! Right off the back. And then as we drop down, I like the clean taillight design. You got simple badge, E-Tron and Quattro. That's it. We don't need to put EV. We don't need to put any other badges on here. Sportback, flat silver across the bottom. There's some more of that gloss black just to balance it out. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop that hatch and see what's lurking underneath in this E-Tron. All right, guys, time to pop the hood. Obviously, surprises, since this is an electric vehicle. There's no engine. You have an electric motor up front. electric motor out back. When we're talking about power, we're talking about those two motors, 355 horsepower, 414 pound-feet of torque. When you're in sport mode, it boosts it up to a temporary 402 horsepower, 490 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60, 5.1 seconds. The vehicle weighs 5,400 pounds and uses lithium-ion battery technology, and it's all mated to a single-speed automatic transmission. You can clearly see what's going on with the electric motors out front. Now, what's interesting is that you do have all-wheel drive, but it is rear-wheel drive bias, which has really got me curious about what the driving dynamics are going to be like. But opening up this little cover here gives you 2.1 cubic feet of space. So I think it's super smart that Audi took advantage of having an extra storage area up front, besides all the room in the hatch. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the interior and see, are things smaller because this is a Sportback compared to your standard e-tron. All right, guys, we're inside the 2020 e-tron Sportback. I know you're at that point where you're like, Joe, I don't want a Tesla. I really like the iconic German brand that Audi is and what they bring to the table. How much is this particular one? Well, you're looking at an MSRP of around $80,000. Range, you're gonna get 218-mile range on here. And really, like I was saying, a lot of technology for the money. Plus, you could tow around 4,000 pounds when properly equipped with this e-tron. So let's see what we're getting. To the door panels, I love what they did. It's this nice touch on futuristic with contemporary, the bright silver, that LED ambient lighting within the silver trim, the way the door handle is, the armrest is hard, but you know what? The stitch work is beautiful. I love the way the handle attaches to the back portion of the door panel. This one has the optional Bang & Olufsen sound system, and you got a door pocket that will probably fit, I would say, 2 Big Macs and a bottle of Coca-Cola to wash it down. Now, when you get to the dash, loving the wood. This beautiful wood. I'm glad they didn't put like a veneer or any kind of gloss shine on it. The e-tron badge, a little bit of gloss black, nothing too crazy, but the wood comes all the way across. And then now you're gonna get bombarded with screens. So I hope you love screen size. You have over 12 inches up top. So you're gonna start off with 12 inches, you push very nicely, touch. The controls are easy to get into. I mean, look at this. We could go into dynamic. That's where we're going to be doing our drive, that adjusts all the dampers, the steering, the throttle. We could go right back to home, which is great. We drop down, you have an over 8-inch display for your AC controls. Your seat controls, we have ventilated seats and heated seats. You got your dual climate. Obviously, you could change the direction of everything. Really super clear. And then if you want to go into your drive select, you could actually do it down here as well. Let me put the car into reverse real quick for you to show off the backup camera. Super clear with trajectory, and you got your 360. So they did a really great job there. Now, when we're looking at the center console, the silver is exquisite. I like the leather, and basically your shifter is right here. So to go into drive, you just push back and now we're in drive. Remember, it's a single speed automatic transmission. Park, you're just gonna hit the P, and that's gonna put you back in park. A little bit of gloss black. You have this ability to slide the armrest, which is nice, but then you have this open area. Sliding door, let me show you. In here you have your 2 cup holders, plus you have your Audi key fob. Very clean, good size. I like the nice touches. The e-tron badge there is another nice touch. You actually have a space in here to fit at least one Twinkie, or you're probably gonna wanna use this area as your wireless cell phone charging, and you have a 12 volt in there. It's kind of weird though that there's not an actual lid to cover this section. There's a cover in here, but I would like one here, so I am gonna zonk that. It's a little funky for my taste. Pull this up, that's where you're gonna put your Twinkies, and guess what? We have carpeted, nice liner in there so that you're not gonna scratch your Twinkies. No guy wants their Twinkie scratch. And on the back side in here, you have 2 USBs. So that's a really nice touch. Seats, very classy, very simple, great stitching, nice texture material, perforated all through the center, full power assist for the passenger and the driver. And like I said, they're ventilated and they're heated. And then of course we have a good sized panoramic sunroof. So that's gonna allow the vitamin D to come in, nice size. And I think it's important because the headliner is a light color. That's gonna make it a little bit more airy in here, but definitely having that open really increases that experience. But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this EV Audi. All right, guys, business time. You do have your 2 memory seat settings, easy to get to on the door panel there. And then your seat controls, same story. Very, very easy to reach. Steering wheel, just like any other Audi vehicle, nice thickness. I love that baseball style contrast stitching. The brushed aluminum is very exquisite. And I like the way everything is super thin here. Just a little bit of gloss black on the buttons. You do have paddles to go through simulated shifting. Kind of interesting since we are in a single gear automatic transmission. And then you have that virtual cockpit, that 12-inch virtual cockpit that Audi is known for, and you could change it many different ways to show lots of different information, but it's so clear. I mean, look at the navigation there. Excellent setup by this awesome brand. Plenty of headroom, and I could adjust the seat. I really didn't fully adjust the seat for me. I'd want to be a little bit lower here, but you can see I got plenty of headroom. Let's get to the back seat, because now we're gonna see, does going Sportback require your passengers to be shorter? All right, guys, back seat time in this E-Tron Sportback. It's crazy. You would think that there would be a lot less headroom. You're only losing 0.8 of an inch, so less than an inch, and you're getting the great style. If I was gonna go E-Tron, I wouldn't even think about the standard one. I would go Sportback. Now, in the back seat, you are gonna get the plastic, which I'm not really the biggest fan, and these cargo nets, so I am gonna zonk that. But I know those of you that have kids, they like to, eat their hot dog and get their mustard fingers all over the place, and it's easy to wipe. But you do have some leather that actually comes around the back of the seat. You're gonna have a nice little command center, AC, nice touch control, heated seats but no ventilated seats, and then you're gonna get 2 USBs and a 12-volt down below. I'm 6 feet tall. Love the amount of room, and another thing I love is that you have the air vents in the actual frame as well. So you're getting double the air vents, because nobody just wants to have their knees ventilated or AC'd. They want to have the rest of their body, and it really works well here. Seating position is great. We pull this guy down. That's as hard as a rock, I'm telling you that right now. Open it up though, you could put your diamonds. If you have your diamond collection, you could put them in here and they're not going to get scratched. You could hide them in your E-Tron. Maybe you're smuggling diamonds. I don't know. If you're doing that, I promise I won't tell. I promise. That's your business. 2 cup holders, so that's where you're going to be able to put your drinks. Flip it back up. Why don't we get to that cargo area, though, because I'm very curious how much space there is in this E-Tron Sportback. All right, guys, time to open up the Sportback. You just press the button. Nice electric assist. Now, the one thing I want to point out is the rear bumper is quite high, but even with this being an EV, remember, you have an electric motor out back. Even with this being an EV, there's some pretty good space here. Now, what are you losing? It's 21.7 cubic feet of space with the seats up. If this was a standard E-Tron, it would be 23.3 cubic feet of space. So you're not losing a lot. Fold the seats down, you're gonna get 58.8 cubic feet of space. And I almost forgot to tell you that this does have a really amazing regenerative braking system. So you're getting that 218-mile range. You're getting some very usable space out back, plus you're getting regenerative braking. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the best part. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go find out how this E-Tron Sportback drives. All right, guys, we're leaving Audi Wesley Chapel. We're in the 2020 E-Tron Sportback on throttle. I tell you, the way that this thing accelerates, it really puts you in the back of your seat. Very, very controllable. I do have it in sport mode, which is going to give us that over 400 horsepower, and driving dynamics are very, very good. Guys, once again, pulling out on throttle. Wow, I'm telling you, this thing definitely has get up and go. You have that regenerative braking, which is wonderful. Nothing too overbearing. It doesn't just grab the brakes and slow you down faster than what you want. And you can see that the handling dynamics, Audi really knows what they're doing when it comes to handling and all-wheel drive. Virtual cockpit, super clear as always. And you know what? I think with some practice, you'll get used to these screens. It is a lot of screen. It is a lot of gloss black. But unfortunately, it looks like that's the direction that we're going. But let's take this little twisty route again. Super smooth. Look at this, holds a line nicely. Really, really wonderful. I like what they've done with the balance of this vehicle. especially compared to the regular e-tron. They definitely did some different work with the suspension. Visibility out the back, even with the Sportback roof line and the glass and everything, really, really well done. Nice size mirrors. It's a smooth driving vehicle, and what I like about it compared to, say, a Tesla is that it's not funky. And what I mean by that is you don't have just one screen and nothing else. I like getting into a vehicle, whether it's an EV or not, and feeling at home. I like that at-home feeling, and you get that, especially if you're used to other Audi products. This is gonna really feel no different, especially when it comes to the premium finishes like the wood, and that rear seat space is quite phenomenal considering the Sportback roofline. They did a great job balancing that out so that you didn't lose a lot of headroom there. But as we're just driving, it really feels great. Going down the road, you have the paddles to adjust that regenerative braking like I pointed out earlier. You can reduce or increase the regenerative braking, which is nice. Because depending on what you're doing, you may want a little bit more regenerative braking feel and feedback. But going through this roundabout here, brakes feel good. Look at this. And then boy, oh boy, when you get on throttle, you exit with authority, especially in sport mode, getting the power down with the all-wheel drive system. I personally still need some engine noise, but definitely is a fun factor here. Instant torque, here we go. All you're hearing is the air conditioning and a little bit of Tron cycle noise that I like to call it. But look at that, holds a line perfect. And I'm telling you right now, you're gonna love, if you have not been behind the wheel of an Audi product with the virtual cockpit, it's so clear. And having the navigation right there, it's wonderful. They did a really, really great job with that. All right, guys, as we are wrapping it up here, one last roundabout just for you. Look at this. It's a joy to drive. That's the good news, you know. Even though I'm not personally ready for an EV, if you are ready for an EV and you want something that's gonna give you that regular car experience, but with on-throttle fun that just, I mean, look at the nose just lift. Unbelievable, the amount of torque. Instantaneous, you're not waiting for revs to build up or anything. This e-tron Sportback, like I said, I think is a nice option to have, and it's good to have options, and you definitely want to add this to your list if you are shopping EVs. But we're going to go ahead, get back to Audi at Wesley Chapel and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another great day with this e-tron Sportback, all new for 2020. I got to definitely thank Adam, Chris, and Mike for getting us access to this all new model. It really shows that Audi is doing what they can to fill that gap in their lineup of EVs, and I think this really complements the standard e-tron, but boy, gives you a nice sportier look, and it's always nice to have options instead of just going to one brand and you get that all-wheel drive. But if it's vehicles like these that you want to keep seeing on Ready to Rise, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Ready to Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Ready to Rise merch. Got to get out the Crown Vic. It is as hot as can be. If somebody told me what does the surface of the sun feel like, that's what it feels like right now. Victor's working through it like a champ. So thank you, Victor, for having that ice pack under your hat. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.